It smells vegetable-y.
Get in. Me, I love it.
To me, it just tastes like vomit.
Hello, fellow coffee botherers. In this video, we're going to be talking about this, the Lelit Elizabeth. I've threatened to review this quite a few times, and finally, I've got one, so here we go. I've not bought this, it was sent to me on loan by Lelit. It's not a freebie, and if they don't want it back, I'll ask them if they want to give it away via one of the Coffee Blog giveaways. To see the current giveaway, go to coffeeblog.co.uk/giveaway. This is part 1 of 2, and the reason for that is there's just so much to talk about with this machine. Let's start off with the specs. In centimetres, it's 32 centimetres wide, 27 deep and 38 tall. In inches, that's about 12.5 inches wide, just over 10.5 deep and 15 inches tall. 600ml stainless steel steam boiler, which you can turn off if you like. 300ml brass brew boiler. 58ml chrome-plated brass integrated group. Integrated meaning that it's part of the brew boiler, which is great for temperature stability. My old pal max cup height, about 10 centimetres or 4 inches with the standard portafilter, or you'll get a couple more centimetres with a bottomless portafilter. 2.5 litre water tank with reserve mode, so it'll let you finish your shot. Big, roughly 1.2 litre capacity drip tray. PID, algorithmic temperature control for both boilers. Lots of temperature control, brew boiler from 80 to 110 degrees Celsius or 176 to 230 Fahrenheit in 1 degree increments, and 115 to 145 C for steam, 239 to 293 Fahrenheit. Adjustable pre-infusion with 2 modes, steam powered and bloom or pre-brew pre-infusion. 2 programmable shot buttons, timed with separate pre-infusion time control. Shot timer, brew pressure gauge, 3-way solenoid valve, 58ml portafilter with the cool late coffee slide splitter. The Lelit quiet vibration pump, the same found in the Mara X. Quick purge, bypassing pre-infusion by pressing the 2 shot buttons at the same time. You can adjust the purge length in the advanced LCC settings too. Adjustable OPV, you do have to take the top off, but it's just a turn of a screw. Commercial style hot water spout that delivers hot water from the steam boiler mixed with water from the brew boiler, so you don't get boiling hot water spitting at you from the spout. Or with the steam boiler off, you just get hot water from the spout via the brew boiler. Pro no burn steam wand with 2-hole steam tip. Lelit Control Center LCC, which is how you set the temperature, pre-infusion and so on. Advanced LCC, where you can go in and change all sorts of stuff, which we'll go into more in part 2. Smart plug compatible, as it has a proper on-off switch, and there's a 30-minute standby mode, which you can disable. Cup riser is included in case you're using smaller cups. It's probably clear by now why I needed to do 2 videos on this. There's a lot to talk about. What is the Lelit Elizabeth? This is one of the best value for money dual boiler espresso machines on the market, and I think it's probably the most underrated dual boiler machine. In fact, it might just be the very best dual boiler, full stop, at this price point, for reasons that will soon become clear. First impressions. This is a thing of beauty. I think the design, no.
I'm not agreeing
They
with
don't
you.
think it's, I do, I love it. I think the build quality and the overall fit and finish is surprising given the cost and the specs. The brushed stainless steel finish is great, it'll hide scratches, it doesn't really hide fingerprints though, and I'm not sure why no one has thought of fingerprint patterned stainless steel yet. Maybe I've just invented something. It's not tiny, 32 centimetres wide. If you like the look of this but you need something slimmer, have a look at the Mara X. How much is it? At RRP, it's £1,199.95 in the UK, so just under £1,200. €1,349 in the rest of Europe, $1,799.95 in dollars in America, and $2,799 Australian dollars in Australia. I'll put links in the description. They'll be affiliate links, so if you buy using these, you'll be supporting the channel. Thank you very much. Another completely free way to support the channel is to look down here somewhere for the button that says subscribe. If you click that, an amazing thing will happen. It'll transform to say subscribed with a D on the end. Clicking the like button, commenting and sharing this video is also very helpful. Cheers. If you wanted to, you could also click the join button to become part of our secret organisation, but shh, don't tell anyone. It's a secret. You'll get early access to videos, custom emojis, members only content and more. And if you've recently joined, stick around until the end. You might be famous. But it's a secret, so don't tell anyone. Test results. Heat up time, technically speaking, is about 8 minutes on 220 volt power, but for the best results, I'd give it about 20 minutes to heat up, which you can do by slapping it on a smart plug and setting up a schedule. If you need to use it as soon as it's ready, you can, but it's a speedy heat up thing, which means it'll overshoot the temperature. So I'd do a cooling flush first. Just don't expect a good shot-to-shot consistency if you're using it after about 8 minutes or so of heat up. Espresso temperature will usually be around 80 to 85 degrees Celsius, about 176 to 185 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the brew temperature and how fast the shot flows. Hot water temperature depends. If you have the steam boiler on, water from the spout will be mixed from the steam boiler and the brew boiler, so it'll depend on your steam boiler temperature. I'll go into more detail on this in part 2, but it's from around 82 degrees Celsius with the steam boiler off, and between about 85 to 98 degrees Celsius with the steam boiler on, depending on the steam boiler temperature. Hot water power, it takes roughly 20 seconds to dispense 200 ml of hot water, and it's about the same with the steam boiler on or off, by the way. This is fast, but it's also nice and smooth too. No spitting that you sometimes get from pro-style water spouts. Steam ready time, instant as it's dual boiler. Steam power will depend on the steam temperature, and steaming 170 ml of milk to 60 degrees Celsius or 140 degrees Fahrenheit takes about 32 to 33 seconds at 135, the preset temperature, and about 24 to 25 seconds at 145 degrees Celsius, the maximum steam boiler temperature. The steam boiler temperature also adjusts the pre-infusion pressure though, and more on that on part 2. Loudness, steaming milk will just depend on how much you're aerating. If your milk is screaming at about 75 decibels, that's not due to the machine, it's just that you've got the tip too deep so no air is being dragged in. Vibration pump volume, though, is noticeably quiet, as with the Mara X as it uses the same pump. It's about 45 to 50 decibels from 1 metre away. That's pretty quiet for a vibration pump. The LCC. In the LCC, Lelit Control Centre, this little thing. No, that's the pressure gauge. That's the LCC. In there, you control most stuff, and it's really straightforward to use. Just press the minus button to toggle through stuff, press the plus button to enter the item you want to change, and then use the plus and minus buttons to change the settings. And then you just leave it to flash a few times, and then it saves it, and you move on. Here you can adjust brew temperature, steam temperature, steam boiler on or off, pre-infusion time for each of the 2 shot buttons, shot time for both the shot buttons, Celsius or Fahrenheit selection, and you can see the total number of shots you've pulled. There's also a shortcut to toggle the steam boiler on and off, which is to long press the minus for 2 or 3 seconds. There's also an advanced LCC menu, as I've already mentioned, that we'll dive into in part 2. Pre-infusion modes. The steam pressure pre-infusion and the bloom or pre-brew pre-infusion. Bloom or pre-brew pre-infusion is a more common pre-infusion on home machines these days. The pump runs, followed by a pause, and then continues to run. So during the pause, there's no pressure in the group. The steam pressure mode utilises the steam boiler pressure to maintain some pressure in the group throughout, similar to Sage or Breville's pre-infusion, although they do it by running the pump at reduced power. For both modes, you can control the pump run time and the pre-infusion time, and you can set this separately for both shot buttons. If you're wondering why you'd want to use a different pre-infusion mode, it just gives you options, ways to experiment to get the best results with your beans, your grinder and your baskets. In theory, low pressure pre-infusion via the steam boiler would work better for more challenging, lighter roasts, but the point is you have the option so you can experiment. Toggling between the two is really easy. Steam power pre-infusion is on by default. You can turn it off in the advanced menu if you want. Otherwise, you can just press and hold the minus to turn off the steam boiler just before pulling your shot, and that will toggle you on to bloom pre-infusion. More about this in part 2. Shot buttons. There are 2 shot buttons. There. And this is fairly usual, but what's not all that usual is you can program the pre-infusion time separately for both, so you don't necessarily need to think of these as a single shot and a double shot button. What's even more unusual is it's not just the pre-infusion time once the pump has finished running that you can set separately with each button, you can set the pump run time differently too. Combined with a choice of steam power or pre-brew pre-infusion, which you can toggle at any time by just pressing and holding the minus button to disable the steam boiler, this is one of the things that makes this machine so interesting, and I'll demo these in part 2. What's the espresso like? This will depend on the coffee beans, the grinder and how well dialed in you are, but the espresso quality potential with this, due to the temperature precision and stability, is very high. Also, the unique control over Preinfusion is an advantage when it comes to experimenting with different roasts and different kinds of espresso shots. Speaking of coffee beans, this would be a good time to talk about this week's sponsor. The sponsor for this week was supposed to be a new local zoo, but they only have one animal, a dog, Shih Tzu.
No.
Get in. So the sponsor this week is me. My coffee beans from the Coffee Works are all freshly roasted. And with me being an espresso fanatic, obviously we have lots of beans that are great for espresso. Want to try them? Of course you do. Go to cworks.co.uk/25 for 25% off your first order. If you're not sure where to start, try Chocolate Brownie Blend, my favourite. We have 22 different coffees and counting, so there's loads to try. Back to the Elizabeth. What's the steam wand like? Like that. It's a cool touch wand with a 2-hole tip, very easy to use, and it has plenty of power, but you can control the power with the steam temperature. It's a dual boiler, so obviously you can steam while the shot is pulling. What's the hot water spout like? It's great.
It's there.
I think Americano or long black drinkers will love this machine. The hot water is fast, but it's not boiling. The water doesn't taste overboiled and it doesn't spit at you, which can happen with dual boilers, delivering hot water from the steam boiler. It's also great that you can still get hot water via the spout if you've decided to leave the steam boiler off to save energy. How does it compare to the Sage or Breville dual boiler? The dual boiler has been my favourite dual boiler machine at this kind of price point until now, and I'd usually expect a similarly priced machine with this kind of design and build quality to either fall down versus a dual boiler when it comes to performance or to be much more expensive, and neither of those are true in this case. This gives the unusual control over Preinfusion as the dual boiler does, and there are pros and cons, but overall I think they're really similarly matched. They're almost the same price at RRP in the UK. The Elizabeth is about €100 more in the rest of Europe and a couple of $100 more in America. There are other comparisons, of course, but not really at this price point. Obviously, I will do a side-by-side comparison with the dual boiler. Who's it for? Me. I love it. I'd say this is for anyone who wants a dual boiler espresso machine with lots of control and flexibility, who doesn't want to spend silly money. I'd also say it might be for people who are thinking about buying a heat exchanger machine who might go for this instead when they realise what it is and how affordable it is compared to many other dual boiler machines, and many heat exchanger machines as well. What do I like about it? Everything bar the steam knob and the water tank. For the price, there's only one other machine I might be tempted to buy instead, which is the Sage dual boiler, and I think it's very easy for most people to know which one is for them, but I'll go into more detail in part 2, and as I've said, I'll do an in-depth side-by-side comparison. The precision and control over brew temperature and pre-infusion for this price, for a machine that looks and feels like this, I think is amazing. As I've said, I also think the attention to detail when it comes to hot water is great and quite rare for a home machine. What don't I like about it? Really, just the steam knob. I'd just prefer a better quality knob, or maybe a joystick or a lever. It's okay, it wouldn't stop me buying it. I'd buy this in a heartbeat, but if it had a nicer steam knob, I'd buy it even more. I'd also prefer a handle on the water tank, as with the Mara X, so I don't have to stick my grubby fingers into the water tank. I'll show you what I'm on about. With the Mara X and the Bianca, there's a handle. Well, there's like two that pull up with this. I can't get my hand around the flipping thing. I have to put my thumb in it and pull it out. Once you do that, yes, there's grips here, but there's no room for your fingers in the cavity of the...
So drop it when you get to that point as well.
So you'd have to drop it. So you have to revert to thumb in, which is fine. You don't have to fill it right to the top anyway. I'd rather not put my grubby thumb in the water tank. The only other thing to mention is I don't think Lelit have put quite enough information in the instruction manual. Big, thick manual. That's your manual. And a few little pages. Even their advanced manual doesn't make the pre-infusion modes clear. Thankfully, Dave Corbey of the UK Coffee Time forums has spent lots of time and effort creating in-depth guides on this, and I'll talk more about them in part 2. There's also a link to Coffee Time forums in the description, by the way. All I'd say there is that if Lelit isn't going to put all this info into their manuals, I think it would be great if they put a QR code in there to Dave's guides, so people don't have to search for them. Just to demonstrate how QRs work, here, scan this.
I already don't like the look of this one because it's
pale and watery.
It also tastes like shit.
Well, Lisa's already apologising, everyone, which means I'm going to have a grumpy face again.
I might be lying. It might be absolutely amazing.
It smells vegetable-y.
Ew. That
What
sounds
is
great.
that smell?
No.
No.
Are you sure it's not nice?
Oh.
Where's it gone?
What is that?
Oh, I'm so excited for this drink. Cheers, everyone.
What even is that flavour? Is that like grapefruit juice?
It's really nice.
Yeah, you're lying, aren't you?
Yeah.
Fruit punch iced coffee or fruity iced coffee. To me, it just tastes like vomit. Zero beans.
We're allowed to do 0, aren't we? Like,
Do what we
0.
got.
I would do -10.
1, 2, 3.
Really?
Wow, that's a good message.
See ya.
See ya. Thank you very much for watching, and a very special thank you to all the new channel members. If you want to join in the fun, click on the join button, which is down here somewhere, just below my right roller boot. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to support the channel by clicking the subscribe button to make it change to say subscribed. Also, liking and commenting help too. Another way to subscribe is to click on my face. Tatty Bye.